Salutations YouTube, Lord Gatheridge here with another spree killing video. I'm sorry I did not upload this last night. I had a technical difficulty which meant I had to get a new microphone. But that's all sorted and I'm here to bring you last night's video today. Which, in case you didn't know what the video was about, it was about the shooting at the Pulse Nightclub in Orlando. And if you noticed, I announced the video on the 9-year on the day anniversary since the shooting. Completely unintentional. I had no idea when the shooting was. But before we start, I just want to say, get yourself a drink, get yourself a snack, make yourself comfortable. Today I have frozen a bottle of water, and I'm drinking that as it melts, so I've got ice cold water. It's very hot in the UK at the minute. So, as always, we're going to do a little bit of a backstory on the perpetrator. Then we're going to get onto the actual events of the shooting. Without further ado, let's begin. Omar Mateen was born on November 16, 1986. His father emigrated from Afghanistan to America in the 1980s and was a secret informant for the FBI between January 2005 and July 2016. His mother was taken into custody after she allegedly attacked her husband while he was brushing his teeth on the night of December 7th, 2002. After being raised in New York for a few years, he moved with his family to Port St. Lucie, Florida in 1991. His family was described as being moderate Muslims and all-American. It's been reported that at a young age, Mateen displayed a preoccupation with violence. For his elementary and middle school education, he attended classes in St. Lucie County, Florida. While at Mariposa Elementary School, a third-grade teacher wrote that Mateen was very active, constantly moving, verbally abusive, rude, aggressive, talked many times about sex and violence, hands all over the place, and on other children and in his mouth. In the 7th grade, Mateen was moved to a separate class with the purpose of avoiding conflicts with other students and suffered from poor scholarly performance due to many instances of behavioural problems. A classmate at Mariposa said that Mateen was a bully, disrespectful to girls and acted like he was better than his classmates. Another classmate reported that Mateen was bullied at school because of his weight and his Afghan heritage. His parents were described as dismissive of his poor behaviour, while his father had a reputation for being disrespectful of female teachers and dismissive of complaints about his son. In 1999, while Mateen was in the 8th grade, his teacher sent a letter to his father regarding an attitude and inability to show self-control. So it sounded like from even his elementary school days, he was a little bit of a prick. I mean, we all get people like that at school. Obviously not to turn out to do what he did, but we've all got someone who's always disruptive and the parents like, nah, nothing wrong with him, you're just a shit teacher, mate. There's always things like that at every school. I had it growing up at school. People were always disruptive, their parents were like, nah, they're fine, mate. I mean, I wasn't disruptive, I was quiet, I was the quiet kid. Which explains a lot to look at the videos I now make. Anyway, Mateen began his secondary education at Martin County High School in 2000, and at the age of 14 was expelled after being in a fight in maths class where he was briefly arrested without being handcuffed and charged with battery and disrupting the school, though the charges were later dropped. While a sophomore attending Spectrum, which I should add was an alternative high school for students with behavioural issues, classmates told the Washington Post, have I my say about that Mateen cheered in support of the hijackers during the September 11 attacks and stated that Osama bin Laden was his uncle who taught him how to shoot AK-47s. After his outburst, Mateen's father arrived at the school to pick him up and slapped him in the face. with Mateen later being suspended for 5 days after the incident. Soon after the September 11 attacks, he shocked other students on his school bus by imitating an exploding plane. I mean, I've made jokes about stuff that shouldn't be joked about. I'll admit that, and I own it. But there's a time and a place, lad. Anyway, that's just a sort of a backstory on the guy. Basically, he's just a bit of a dickhead. And this will come to fruition as to what I'm about to tell you. So fast forward all the way to the 11th of June 2016. Pulse, which was a nightclub for the LGBTQ plus community in Orlando, Florida. I may have missed a letter there. It was hosting a Latin night, which primarily drew a Latino crowd. About 320 people were still inside the club, which was serving last cold drinks at around 2 a.m. on June the 12th. Okay, if it's 2 a.m. and you work at a club and you're serving last call at 2 a.m., sort your shit out. At around the same time, Omar Mateen arrived at the club via rental van, parking it in the parking lot of a neighbouring car shop. He got out and walked towards the building armed with a Sig Sauer MCX semi-automatic rifle and a 9mm Glock 17 semi-automatic pistol. He was wearing a green, blue and white plaid dress shirt, a white t-shirt underneath and tan cargo pants. At 2 minutes past 2 in the morning, Mateen bypassed Officer Adam Gruler, who was a uniformed off-duty Orlando PD officer working extra duty as a security guard. He entered the building through its southern entrance and began shooting patrons. Dozens were killed or severely injured inside the crowded nightclub, either directly or by ricocheting bullets. Adam Gruler took cover and called in a signal for assistance. He told a post-incident police foundation assessment team that he had immediately recognised that his handgun would be severely disadvantaged against the rifle Mateen was using. When he witnessed Mateen shooting two patrons attempting to escape through an emergency exit, Gruler fired shots at him. In response, Mateen withdrew back into the nightclub and continued shooting victims as he traversed through the building, sometimes firing into bodies without checking whether they were already dead or not. So basically, if you hadn't already been shot or killed, then he'd basically try again without even knowing if you're dead or not. It's just fucking psychotic. When additional officers arrived at the nightclub beginning at 2:04 a.m, Gruler shouted, "The gunman is in the patio," and resumed firing at Mateen a minute later. Two officers joined Gruler in engaging Mateen, who then retreated further into the nightclub and began a hostage situation in one of the bathrooms. So that's just fucking terrifying. You're a hostage, and you have no idea the guy who's keeping you hostage is going to shoot you or not. It must have been terrifying for those poor bastards. In less than 5 minutes, Mateen had fired approximately 200 rounds, only pausing to reload. During the shooting, some of the people trapped inside the club sought help by calling or sending text messages to friends and relatives. Initially, some of them thought the gunshots were firecrackers or part of the music. Yeah, again, that showed with the Vegas shooting. At first, people thought that they were fireworks or just part of the show. I guess it's hard to tell, because obviously in the video you can definitely tell that they're gunshots. But I guess in real life, well, in the video, because it actually tells you that they're gunshots, so you don't really expect to hear the sound of fireworks. I don't know. I hope to never be in an event like that. I never have been. Hope I never will be. Imran Yusuf, who was a recently discharged Marine Corps veteran working as a nightclub bouncer, immediately recognised the sounds as gunfire. Yeah, so you get people, but then again, he's a Marine veteran. But yeah, people do see that gunshots sound nothing like fireworks. Anyway, he described as high caliber and jumped over a locked door behind which dozens of people were hidden and paralysed by fear. Then opened a latch door behind them, allowing approximately 70 people to escape. So he saved a lot of lives that night. Fair play to you, sir. Well done. Hero. Many people described a scene of panic and confusion caused by the loud music and the darkness. One person shielded herself by hiding inside a bathroom and covering herself with bodies. A bartender said she took cover beneath the glass bar. At least one patron tried to help those who were hit. According to a man trapped inside a bathroom with 15 other patrons, Mateen fired 16 times into the bathroom through the closed door, killing at least 2 and wounding several others. See, even during the actual shooting, there were acts of bravery going on, heroism. People were risking their lives to try and save the lives of others. That's when humanity sort of comes together. I respect people like that basically people who don't give a fuck if they die, just as long as they die saving others. They're the kind of people I respect. According to one of the hostages, Mateen entered the bathroom in the nightclub's northwest side and opened fire on the people hiding there, wounding several. The hostage, who had taken cover inside a store with others, was injured by 2 bullets and struck with flying pieces of a wall hit by stray bullets. Shortly after entering the women's restroom, Mateen's rifle jammed. He then discarded the rifle and switched to his Glock 17 pistol. 2 survivors quoted Mateen as saying, "I don't have a problem with black people," and that he wouldn't stop his assault until America stopped bombing his country. Other survivors heard Mateen claim he had explosives as well as snipers stationed around the club. I forgot to mention, he claimed that he was linked with Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, and as well as many others. He made a lot of claims. Over the next 45 minutes, around 100 officers from the Orlando PD and the Orange County Sheriff's Office were dispatched to the scene, as well as 80 fire and emergency medical services personnel from the Orlando Fire Department were deployed during the entire incident. Mateen himself placed a 911 call, but in that he mentioned that the Boston Marathon bombers were his homeboys, and it made a reference to an American citizen who died in a suicide bombing in Syria in 2013. 14 even. There's a lot of stuff that happened this night, and I'm probably missing a lot of it out, and if I am, shut your face. After the initial rounds of gunfire between Martin and Gruler, 6 officers shot... Mateen and Gruler got into a bit of a shootout. I might have mentioned that. I don't know. If I haven't mentioned it, shut your face. I have now. After the initial rounds of gunfire between Mateen and Gruler, 6 officers shot out a large glass window and followed the sound of shooting to the bathroom area. When Mateen stuck his head out from one of the bathrooms, at least 2 officers shot at him. After the gunfire stopped, they were ordered to hold position instead of storming the bathroom, according to one of the officers. After about 15 to 20 minutes, SWAT arrived and had the officers withdraw, as the officers were, and I quote, "not really in tactical gear." SWAT then took over the operation. When asked why the officers did not proceed to the bathroom and engage Mateen, Orlando Police Chief John Meena said it was because Mateen went from an active shooter to a barricaded gunman and had hostages. He also noted that if he had continued shooting, the officers would have went in there. At that time, the last shot by Mateen was fired between 10 past 2 in the morning and 18 minutes past 2. Rescues of people trapped inside the nightclub commenced and continued throughout the night. Because so many people were laying on the dance floor, one rescuing officer demanded, "If you're alive, raise your hand." By 25 to 3 in the morning, police had managed to extract nearly all of the injured from the nightclub. Those who remained included the hostages held by Mateen in the bathroom, as well as a dozen people who were hiding inside dressing rooms. So, it's just a terrifying situation. I could never begin to imagine what that's like. I'm gonna have a sip of ice for this shit. I need a drink, my mouth's dry. Just talk among yourselves for a minute while I have a drink. Sorry about that. Alright. At 2:45, Mateen called News 13 of Orlando and said, "I am the shooter. It's me. I am the shooter." He then said he was carrying out the shooting on the behalf of the Islamic State and began speaking rapidly in Arabic. He also said the shooting was triggered. I'm so sorry, I've just realised. Oh, fuck it. That's going to end bad. That's going to cause some shit. What's a better word for... I'm sorry. I didn't realise as I was typing it. The shooting was caused by an airstrike in Iraq that killed an Islamic State military commander. There we go, we got there in the end. Police hostage negotiators spoke with Mateen by telephone 3 times between 2:48 a.m. and 3:27 a.m. He claimed during one of the phone calls that he had bombs strapped to his body. Excuse me. At 3:58 a.m., the Orlando PD publicly announced the shooting and confirmed multiple injuries. I should have mentioned this. During one of the 911 calls, Mateen pledged his allegiance to the Islamic State. Which, if you don't know who they are, they're basically a bunch of cowards. Just no other way to describe them. Just cowards. At 4:21 a.m., 8 of the hostages escaped after police had removed an air conditioning unit from an exterior wall. At approximately 4:29 a.m., Mateen told negotiators that he planned to strap explosive vests similar to those used in the November 2015 Paris attacks, again by the Islamic State, to 4 hostages, strategically place them in different corners of the building and detonate them in 15 minutes. Orlando PD officers then decided to end negotiations and prepare to blow their way in. The FBI reported that no shots were heard between the time Mateen stopped exchanging gunfire with the first responders at 5:02 a.m. When Orlando police began breaching the building's wall. Just before the breach, Mateen entered a women's bathroom where the hostages were hiding and opened fire, killing a man who sacrificed his life to save the woman behind him and at least one other, according to witnesses. Mate, nothing but praise for you. It's just things like that. People sacrificing their own life to save others. Again, nothing like this should ever happen, but when it does, and these people that are brave enough to stand and fight or sacrifice their lives to save others, nothing but admiration and praise for them. Like, yeah, they shouldn't have died. They shouldn't have even been in that situation. The person shouldn't have even entered the building with a gun. None of these people deserve to die, man. At 5:07 a.m., 14 SWAT officers, after failing to blow open a big enough hole in the bathroom's exterior wall using a bomb due to the wall structure, they successfully breached the building when a policeman drove a Bearcat, which is basically a armoured SWAT vehicle. They drove one of those through a wall in the northern bathroom. They then used 2 flashbangs to distract Mateen and shot at him. The breach drew Mateen out into the hallway, and at 5:14 a.m. he engaged the officers. He was shot 8 times and killed in the resulting shootout, which involved at least 11 officers who fired about 150 bullets. His autopsy report revealed that he was not drunk during the shooting, and he was hit once in the head, 3 times in the torso, and 4 times in the legs. That's just an awful thing to happen. I mean, fuck me, 49 people killed, over 50 injured. At the time, that was the deadliest mass shooting in American history. Until Stephen Paddock went nuts in Vegas and started shooting everyone. A record that was broken twice in the space of a year and a couple of months. About a year and 4 months. It was a record that was set twice. And obviously it's the deadliest terror attack on American soil since 9/11. I just don't know what to say about any of this. It's a dark subject. Don't worry, the series is coming to an end. Well, not yet, but I've still got a few more cases to talk about. The finale's a big one. I mean, I don't want to say that like it's a good thing. I mean, this is episode 8. After this, we've got 3 more to do. Wait, is it 8? I mean, what have we done? We've done Hungerford, we've done Vegas, we've done Sandy Hook, we've done Cumbria, we've done the Aurora Theatre, and I believe that was Parkland, and I believe the last one was Hungerford. So that's 7. This is 8. Yeah, we've got 3 more left. If I have missed any key points in this video, then I'll go for the hat trick of shut your face. And if you don't like the videos I'm making, it's entertainment. It's not entertainment. Fuck me. If you've got an issue with the videos that I'm making, don't watch them. Fuck off. They're my videos, innit? Let me know which case you want me to. Obviously, yeah, that's it. That's what I was going to mention. After this, I'm going to be doing a shocking crimes. So let me know what you want to hear let me know what you want to hear about in the comments. Obviously, we've got a while to go yet. Got about 3 weeks left till the series finishes. I've already got a few ideas written down for future videos for the next series. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you want me to continue the true crime stuff or go back to gaming like a boring bastard? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. It'd be much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel. Again, we're going to try and now get 150. We're already on 114, so we're getting there slowly. We've got 6 months of the year left. Please help me get to 150. It would mean a lot to me. And please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.